Hello everyone, let's talk about today's recipe. Did you know that in Mayan culture, people used to consider themselves as the sons and daughters of corn?
We are literally made out of corn. We eat tortillas every single day.
We do. Well, one thing's for sure is corn is at the core of Mexican cuisine, and today we're gonna be making masa harina pancakes, which is a staple here at home. We love them so much, and they're so easy to put together. Nelson enjoys these with maple syrup, which is a great option as well, but I'd rather make my own sauce because it allows me to switch the sugar to an alternative one. But you can also do regular sugar, and this sauce is so easy to make and it doesn't require a lot of supervision. So right here I have 1 pound of already quartered strawberries. I already took the stems off and everything. You're gonna go into a small saucepan. The sweetener goes in, and this is 1/3 cup. To bring this all together and add a slight tanginess, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. It makes such a difference. We're gonna turn this on to medium heat, stir everything to combine. After a couple of minutes, you're gonna see this reach a gentle simmer. Once that happens, just lower the heat to medium-low and allow it to cook for about 25 to 30 minutes or until the sauce thickens up, gets nice and glossy. Just make sure to stir occasionally. Let's move on to that pancake batter. With recipes like this, you want to avoid over mixing the batter. That's why we're gonna be mixing the dry ingredients and the wet ones separately. That way, when they come together, we do not overwork the batter. Starting with the dry ingredients, we're gonna need 3/4 cup of our beloved corn masa harina, the same amount of all-purpose flour. And here's a tip, you can definitely substitute it for whole wheat flour, which is exactly what I do. But since I'm making them for you, we're sticking to all-purpose. I like to do 1/4 cup of unsweetened, unflavored protein powder because it helps to slow down the breakdown of carbohydrates, which is great. Do 2 tablespoons of sugar or your preferred sweetener. Ooh. The powder, we've got 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. By the way, when those interact with the buttermilk, it's gonna make those pancakes fluffy and so soft. And that's it. We're just gonna mix until it is well combined. Okay, set this aside. Now for the wet ingredients. We've got 2 room temperature eggs, 1 3/4 cup of room temperature buttermilk, 2 tablespoons of unsalted melted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and you can do an additional dash for extra luck, which is what I do. I just love vanilla extract. And we whisk until well combined. Break those eggs in there. And I just love the color this mix right here gets. This is good to go. Let's check on this sauce. It should coat the back of your spoon. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. Nice and thick. Keep in mind, this will continue to thicken as it cools down, and if you put it in the fridge, even better. Turn off the heat and now strain it. I like to use a spoon just to make sure that sauce gets through. I'm not gonna get rid of this strawberry puree that I have. I'm just gonna store it in a container, keep it in the fridge, use it as a spread or anything else that comes to mind. As for the sauce, place it in the fridge or
outside.
I was about to say that's what I'm doing, so it is up to you, but we just need it to cool down. Take the wet ingredients and pour them into the dry ones. For this step, we are not going to be using a whisk. I'm going to be using a spatula so we can fold the mix together. This is going to prevent us from working the gluten too much, which in return can give you really tough pancakes, and that's not what we want. And it needs to be just combined. A little bit of lumps in there is completely okay. I know sometimes we have this need to make sure it is nice and smooth, but believe me, for pancakes, you don't want it to be super smooth. Okay, this is good to go. I'm gonna let it rest for 10 minutes and then we can get started on cooking them. To cook them, I am gonna be using a cast iron griddle. You can use an electric non-stick griddle, which by the way, I'm thinking about getting one because it would allow me to make a lot more at a time. I love this one right here. It gives me a really nice color, but I can only do maybe 2 maybe 3 small ones in here. But for a medium one, I can only do one. I have it over medium heat. Once that's nice and hot, scoop in the batter. I like to give it a light tap. You don't want to make them flat, but just so that they spread. And I am using a large trigger release scoop. Once they're in, one thing that I like to do is lower the heat to medium-low. That way it gives it enough time to cook and we don't burn them. I have a really nice color, some bubbles on top, which are also bursting, so that's a good sign. I'm just gonna flip this. At this point, we're just gonna let the pancake fully cook and also get a really nice brown color at the bottom. I'm gonna place it over a sheet pan lined with parchment paper. And look at that beauty, nice and fluffy. And it's got that great taste of masa harina. In this one, I'm gonna make it thinner, so spread it a little bit more because it's gonna take less time to cook as opposed to making it really thick. This is so exciting. We've got those edges that are set and also those bubbles are coming through and popping on the surface. Look at that.
Aren't you proud?
Proud mama here of pancakes, but I'm proud. You can also just melt a little bit of butter on the surface before you pour in that batter. I know a lot of people like to do it. I myself have done it many times, but I don't know. Lately, I've really liked that sear and color it gets without any fat. This pancake is fully cooked and look at that beauty. Nice and fluffy. Our last pancake is almost done. We got 5.5 because that's a mini one over there. But I do have to be honest, these are huge. So you can definitely make them smaller and get more out of your recipe. There are countless ways to dress up pancakes, and today we're gonna be doing some butter, a few strawberries, and well, the sauce we made earlier, which has had time to cool down. And look at the body. I think that's a little too many for you, huh?
I will try my best.
The thing is that I have to portion control. Also, mine is made with whole wheat flour. That's the way that I have them. I'm gonna do a little bit of that sauce.
I gotta try yours though.
You've had them before.
Yeah, but still, not on camera.
You mean you just wanna have one of mine? They're really good. Either of them is so good.
Just like you said at the beginning, you know we are made out of corn.
There's things that I learned from him, believe it or not, when it comes to Mexico.
Yeah, it comes from the Maya Popol Vuh. For Mayans, it's like the Bible for Christians, kind of.
And what does it say? It's so good.
It says that the creation started off pretty much saying that we come from corn, that was the beginning of the creation.
I mean, we use corn a lot, so I can see where a legend like that would come about because, I mean, it was either for survival. I remember my mother always tells us stories about how they used to make tortillas day and night.
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't have meat, chicken, beef, or anything, there had to be tortillas in the house.
Absolutely.
Now, in the northern states of Mexico, I know they do more flour tortillas, but I know in the southern part, corn is a must. I think people would rather have corn than salt.
Yes.
I think so. Let's do this.
This tastes like cake. That's what it tastes like.
Fluffy, soft.
Fluffy, soft,
delicious.
So good. Like you don't want to stop eating it. Are you guys the butter on pancakes people or no butter in pancakes? Because me, I don't do butter on my I don't do butter on my pancakes. Butter or no butter.
Well, until the next one. Bye.
See you on the next one, everybody.